Jake, we talked about last week being 4 from 6. This week, not as good with 2 from 6, but there's a couple of teams there that are getting a bit of momentum behind them, which is positive.
Yeah, definitely. There are a few really close games this week. We finished on the right side of a few of them, and a couple we didn't quite get over the line. So I think looking at it, 2 out of 6 is probably a little bit harsh. I think some of the performances in those tight games does it more justice than what that figure says of just 2 wins. But some good momentum building, and the ones take that into Bath away, which is obviously a huge fixture of any season.
Now we'll put the results up on a video after this, but we can't speak to you without talking about the match and the close finish in the first team. So for those that maybe haven't seen the result or haven't seen any of the live stream, talk us through the situation you found yourselves in coming on to bowl that last over.
So we're probably 20 runs light. Again, batting wise, we had some good starts in the team and we got to 190, but we're probably 20 short. Just that one person kicking on that I've talked about before, and that partnership of, instead of 40-50 partnership, that one partnership of 70-80. But at the same time, we thought it was enough. They were quite a top heavy unit. So if we got in the wickets early, we thought we could rattle through them, and it was all going to plan, to be honest. And then their last wicket partnership was about 30 odd, I think. And yeah, suddenly a few streaky edges and leg byes for 4 and all sorts. And I'm finding myself with 3 runs to play with in the last over. So yeah, it was pretty tight.
And how are you feeling coming on? Feeling confident coming on to bowl that last over?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought I could, the plan was just into the pitch. It wasn't easy to get the ball away. So the view was just, don't give them that boundary ball, and you're always in with a chance. I mean, the pressure at that point is always on the batting side as well. I think needing 3 from 6, even if they only have 1 wicket remaining. So in a weird way, we were the underdogs in that over, and we weren't under any pressure. I think we were under a lot of pressure the few overs before, which we probably didn't handle as best we could. But when it got to that stage, they should have been ones to get over the line, really. So I was actually feeling quite calm. I've bowled at the death quite a lot over the years, so yeah, I felt comfortable. And fortunately, yeah, I got lucky.
And we talked about the other victory there. So the other victory for our fifths, Captain Barrow again performing with the ball this time, and it's good to see them. They actually defended a total in the 90s. Good to see, I guess, the confidence that comes from being able to do that with the ball and defend that kind of low scoring total.
Definitely, and it's nothing new that I haven't mentioned. It's about that momentum, and I think, as I've said before, the ability is not in doubt since joining Chippenham this year. The big thing is actually the mental side of the game, and that belief, and that gritty, tough cricket, and taking that approach not just for sections of the game but for the entire game. Quite often, I think it's not necessarily the most physically talented team that wins a game of cricket or league cricket. It's how best you apply it, and in certain key moments, who wins those little battles of momentum. So yeah, 2 low scoring games which we've managed to win. We lost another low scoring game by a handful of runs, but to win 2 out of the 3 of those types of games is a huge success story that weekend, I think.
Dave Silk, club captain, good little knock on Saturday. Must be pleased with that.
Yeah, to be fair, pre-season and the first couple of games of the season, I felt good. Found a method of either getting myself out or being given out or judged out, should I say, by umpires a couple of times. So it was actually nice not to go that way and to stay in for a few this time.
So obviously, good performance from yourself, but disappointing to come on the losing end of the game. How did the game go itself?
Yeah, never nice to lose. However, I would say we've probably taken quite a lot from it. I don't think we batted poorly. In fact, I think the people that got in applied themselves nicely. It wasn't an easy wicket to score quickly on. It was quite a tacky track. We got stuck in first on it. Nice track, don't get me wrong, in terms of Malmesbury, and it always is up there. But the reality was, if they bowled straight with long boundaries, and fielders in really good positions, which I thought their captain did brilliantly, Josh Langley, kind of ex-go-taker boy, he managed the game really well, but their bowlers just bowled good lines, and it wasn't one of those grounds that you could get away and get at it. You couldn't really play through with your shots. So actually came off at 211, and we were reasonably happy with that. Probably 20 shy, 30 shy, possibly, but we scored well in the last 10. Bowling wise, the bowlers didn't do much wrong. We got them up to 6 and over at the drinks break, and it was one of those conversations, and you'll remember this, Wardy, as being a captain. You have that conversation at half time, and you go, these next 5 overs are kind of do or die. It's going to make or break the game. And it did make or break the game. We dropped a couple of catches. We had a couple of bits of poor fielding. Before you know it, they scored 40 in five overs, gave the impetus to their batters, and we kind of never quite got back into it, sadly. But I would say that it wasn't probably the bowler's fault. And I think that was the one thing we reflect on quite a lot from Saturday, is the one thing we can control the most is how we field. Ground fielding, how we take catches. And we put ourselves into the best possible positions to do it. And we let ourselves down with our fielding on Saturday. So even though they won in the last over, they probably scored 20 runs, were gifted to them, which was frustrating.
So beyond that game, obviously disappointed from Saturday, but beyond that game as club captain, loads going on at the club, lots of different developments. Are you happy with how the season started?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, to field 6 teams, I know we didn't get there quite with one of the weekends, but to field 6 teams each week is great. To see young players developing and scoring runs, you've had Austin Brown on here, and seeing youngsters like him kind of come through the teams and suddenly being established themselves, in higher up teams the following year is absolutely superb. Your Rob McLeods, people like that who suddenly are finding themselves established in higher teams than they were last year is really, really pleasing. I think there's been a couple of really nice additions and walk-ins to the club, which has been great. Having Jake join us as player coach has certainly brought an edge to things, which both good both on and off the pitch. But also people that, his brother Caleb joining us, Charlotte Phillips joining us, Mark Hick, Alex Watson. There's a lot of really good cricketers. Tom McLaren, a lot of good cricketers who've come to the club. Nick Crane bowled phenomenally well this Saturday. First team debut at Premier 1 level and bowling 10 overs 2 for 20. Absolutely incredible. So we've had a lot of good people join the club. So whilst it was of course disappointing during the winter to lose a few players and players we wouldn't want to have lost, we find ourselves in quite a nice position this year. Great
stuff. Thanks, Sergey.
Just one more thing, if I can, Wardy, before you call off. I'll ask a question of you, if I may. How did you find returning to cricket yesterday?
Yeah, very enjoyable actually. Got a chance to play at Corsham's main ground, which is not a bad ground to return to. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyable evening, and good to get a victory as well, and have a little knock in the middle with Jack Humphries, who returned too. So yeah, enjoyed it.
Say, there was a few returners, so midweek cricket is well positioned to bring people back.
It seems like it last night, yeah, and there seems a good enthusiasm from those returning players, as well as having a mix of youngsters as well. So it was a good spirit in the team last night.
Well, long may that continue in the hip holder.
Chris, Josh has done 2 of these now. This is your second one. Are you going to get one better and do a third next week with another performance on Saturday?
Yeah, well, hopefully one of us will. Hopefully I'll do better than Josh and get another slot in. But yeah, no, another good bowling performance this time on Saturday probably. But More than that, though, it was a team performance. We were playing, I'm sure many people know the Laycock pitch, down at Laycock. I was warned beforehand, it's slow and low, and by golly, it was soggy. Even then, Sam Thomas said, it's a really difficult pitch. But I thought they would know their pitch. So we were skittled out for 92, unfortunately. And I thought, oh, golly, here we go. They know their pitch. They've had 250 odd a couple of weeks ago on this pitch. I thought we're in for a thumping here, but somehow we managed to get them out for 76. So really good bowling performance all round. But first of all, the batting, we were really struggling, and then Bean came in, Dan Bean. And I don't know whether he had not such a good bowler or whatever, but he managed to hit 2 sixes. First of all, one went into the car park and hit a car, so he was quite pleased with that one. And the next one nearly took his mum out because she wasn't looking. So fantastic performance from Bean, and obviously for that reason he got, not for his batting, but for the moments, he got the Green Stump Award for the week there for that. But bowling wise, no, fantastic performance. Ben Gagliosi, who I'm trying to persuade to play every week rather than going off boxing twice a week and saying he can't play the other week, but he bowled absolutely fantastically. I think he was eight overs, 2 wickets for only 8 runs. For an under 15, really good bowling there. Then Lakers, Dan Lakeland, he I can't remember what his actual stats were, but he took 3 wickets. Bowled really tightly with a couple of maidens as well, but really good all-round bowling performance, and that won us the game. My forfer helped chip in on that, so really good.
Good. And you mentioned your own performance there, and also enjoying playing on a Saturday. But you've done this role now for a few years of leading the team, and when it shows in how you've talked about the young people there, but bringing through the youngsters of the club. Are you really enjoying that role, Chris?
No, I love it. No, I think it's really good. I mean, captaincy, when you first start out doing it, it's a bit tricky, especially when you're not an experienced cricketer like I am. I only started playing at 43, but it's good fun. And I mean, what I really enjoy about it is the fact that you've got keen youngsters who are coming up through, as well as, old people like me who are just in their latter years of playing cricket, who just want to enjoy it. But it's the youngsters that it's really good. And I've lost Jacob Callaway, hopefully for the whole season now upwards. I'm sure he may have a couple of games down, but that is an achievement in itself. When we start losing the youngsters upwards, that's what this team is all about, and the sixes. There's a couple down who have been playing in the sixes, mainly younger under 15s, who I think and hope will start coming up to the fives, get the rest of the season in the fives, and then go onwards and upwards. And that's what it's all about, really. So it's good fun, enjoying it.
So Jay, looking ahead at the week coming up this Saturday, 6 teams out again, which is obviously fantastic, and a couple of really big games in there, particularly for our ones and our 6th team against local rivals Biddeston.
Yeah, adds an extra element to the game, doesn't it? Bragging rights for a few weeks at least, if you manage to finish on the winning side. And Chippenham away to Bath. Bath is a club that's renowned around the world, to be honest. I've been playing abroad and people have said, "Oh, have you ever played at Bath?" And by chance I'm fairly local to it, which is nice. That's going to be a good fixture. They're 3 wins from 3 games. We're 2 wins from 3 games, and the loss we had was fairly close. So it's going to be a good day. I think the weather's meant to be good as well. Going on, last year, the first year the club's been in Prem 1, I think that was the 2nd win of Prem 1 cricket that the club ever had away at Bath. So it's been done before by the club, and hopefully it's round 2 this time.